beg your pardon, Diane, more good news with respect to people who are saying no, libraries should be for a proper purpose.
Yeah, so I would like to talk about the World Library Association because they have just asked me to join their team, and I was really happy to accept it. They are really focused on the basic topic, which I've been reporting on as well, on age appropriateness in libraries. And they are all based so far in America at this point. So they were joking with me that even though I have an American passport, I'm the first international member, making it a truly World Library Association. The executive director of the World Library Association is Dan Kleinman, who I have interviewed previously on UK Column back in December. You can watch an hour-long interview with us talking about specific actions that they have been taking in America to fight the books and the content of some of the terribly graphic sexual materials, violent materials that are showing up in school libraries and public libraries around Western countries. The mission of the World Library Association is what they just say is your library, your way. We make best practice suggestions, and you decide whether to use them to help you improve your local library services. And this basically means in America, it means they're going into library board meetings, they're going into school board meetings in their local areas. And these are people that are speaking out, making a difference by doing things like reading directly from the content of some of these books. And in some cases, the content is so violent and so sexualized, putting this in front of children, that the people get banned and thrown out of the meetings because they're exposing things that are so graphic. So I want to talk here in particular about a member of the World Library Association. Her name is Julie Gebhardt, and I had an interview with her over the weekend. And I'm going to play just part of our discussion, and then I'll talk a little bit more about it. She's made some major breakthroughs recently, but this is her story right here of how she got started being active in the World Library Association and pushing against it. And this photo that I'll be showing along with the audio is a picture of Julie actually going to a board meeting and speaking up.
So about 4 years ago, I had a 15-year-old daughter in a public high school here, just obviously the local public high school. And she came home asking me to get a book for her. And I just popped online and did a quick search. And the review that I found said this book contains graphic incestuous rape of I think 9 or 11-year-old by her father. It contains sodomy, bestiality, pedophilia, like on and on, masturbation, prostitution. I mean, everything you can even imagine in detail in this book. And so I was stunned because I had not really experienced anything like it in the public schools, and my kids had been in public schools, even in California, had never seen anything like it. So that was like my moment of reality check, and started digging at that point into what was going on in our schools.
So Julie told me is that she is very aware of the battle between the light and the dark. And she is a Christian. She quoted from Ephesians 5:11, which seems to motivate a lot of what she's doing. So the King James version of that verse of the Bible is, have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. She believes that we're starting to make a progress because she thinks that people are waking up and the light is starting to win over the dark, but we have to keep fighting if this is going to happen. I asked her for some examples of some of the books that she's been fighting against. And the one that she mentioned in that audio clip that her daughter was asked to read for school is called The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. Some other authors that she mentioned are Ellen Hopkins, who writes for young adult at a reading level for young adults and children, but the content is not at all for young adults and children. Another one is Craig Thompson is another author. Some books that they have found in their local middle schools, which in America is for sort of ages 11 to 14. This book is Gay, which contains basically a sex manual of all types of sex, of very deviant sexual behaviors, and telling children, whoever is reading this, how to do them. When I read the book myself, I was not even familiar with a lot of what it was talking about myself. There's a book called All Boys Aren't Blue, which is another one that is frequently challenged. And in the U.S. in particular, the reason that they're getting away with these books in the libraries is because the definition of obscenity is based on what something's called the three-pronged Miller test. And prong 3 says that if the work taken as an entire whole lacks serious literary, artistic, political, scientific value, then it can be defined as obscene. But if they can say that somehow it has a literary or scientific value as it's part of a novel, then it's not considered to be obscene and therefore allowable to be in libraries for anyone of all ages. And just a quick note about how this all happened was that she lives in Hillsborough County, Florida, and she's been fighting about this. And eventually the Commissioner of Education got word of what was going on because there's a legislator in Florida, Dana Trebuchet, who was in the Florida House of Representatives. Julie was sending information about the content of some of these books to Dana, and she started posting on social media about how disgusting and deviant this all was. And then eventually the Attorney General in Florida saw what she was sharing. The superintendent responded by asking to come to the meeting at the state level to explain why he wasn't doing anything about it. And so essentially what's happened now is that the Attorney General of Florida has spoken up. So we have a short clip from him from a press conference that he gave last week saying what he's doing.
I will tell you that Office of Parental Rights, while we're only a couple weeks open, we are already busy, already receiving input from the public and taking action. Just last week, we sent a letter to Hillsborough County notifying them that there's harmful sexualized content in the school system there, pornographic in nature. We were delighted that it only took a day for them to get that harmful content out of the schools, and a couple counties have quickly followed suit.
So this is just one amazing example, I think, of one woman who's a mother who was just concerned about what her children were being required to read at school. And she's made a difference at county levels, and it's spreading to more counties throughout the state. Now the Attorney General has stepped in to sort of push this forward. So we have just a last screenshot here of a tweet that she posted. So you can follow her on X, saying that, okay, this is great that they're taking these actions, but she's still expecting to want to see more, and she hopes that it continues in this direction. But this is just one mother doing something incredible, and I'm very proud now to be a member of the board of the World Library Association, Brian, so I hope I can do even more.
Very much. What a brilliant place to end on. We've got to shine light into the darkness, and we've got to take the top off this terrible grooming of children. Children are our future, so this is clearly an area which we've got to focus on. But overall, the good news is that that rules-based international order is telling us they're running late with their plans, and that is because of increasing pushback. And if we can stay discerning, we can work out when we're watching planned demonstrations in order to pit one side against the other so that ultimately the government and the powers behind it rule, then we're doing extremely well. So be kind to your fellow man, and let's be really discerning about who the bad people are and who the good people are. And we should test one another as to what direction we're going in. We must end today's news there. If you're a member of UK Column, please join us for Extra. If you're not a member of UK Column, consider signing up with us and taking out a membership, because UK Column Extra covers a lot more information usually and in a very relaxed way. And this is what a lot of people are saying to us that they'd like to see and be part of, a lot more relaxed, uplifting way of discussing what is some pretty dark news. But we'll leave it there. And UK Column News will be back on Wednesday. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.